I tried dating in an African home, and guys, I literally got disowned. Like, by disowned, I mean like some of the things that I used to enjoy zilikuwa taken off. Like the trust that my parents had with me, it just literally broke. Because why? I wanted to date. I wanted to be like any other teenager. Yeah, like literally, it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had between my parents and I, and the fact that they did what they did, it really took a long time for me to forgive them, especially my own mom. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube page. My name is Mwathi Njathi. This is a page where you get to be entertained using story times. I am a digital storyteller. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, share and comment, and please hit that notification bell so that every time I post new story times about my experiences and sometimes other people's experiences, you get to be the first to watch it. Okay? Anyway, let's get into it.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want.
So basically, this story time, it runs way back in 2020. I was in Form 3, and at that time, I was attending Precious Blood Rerouter, which is in Kawangware. Ukitaka kusema in a layman's language, but if you're going to use a fancy name, Lower Lavington West. So at this time, it's the beginning of 2020, like literally it's January. I'm supposed to join Form 3, and I'm very much excited because who is not excited? Nimeacha kuwa mono, nimeacha kuwa daiko. Daikoto. Hey, boarding high school is the worst, my guy. I'll make sure I do a story time about that one. So it's January 2020. It's actually the first Monday of January, and I'm supposed to return back to school. So obviously the day before was on a Sunday. So I'm reporting to school on Monday, and the day before was on Sunday. So this is what happened on that Sunday evening of January 2020. So mimi kama kawaida tumeshafanya shopping na wazazi. Okay, we've done our shopping, and our school ulikuwa allowed kubeba vitu kama milk, fruits. By fruits I mean apples, bananas, mangoes. You know, hizo vitu were allowed to carry spread. By spread I mean Blue Band, margarine, jam, peanut butter, honey to apply on your bread, yeah? And for people and if you wanted to carry biscuits were allowed. But there are only two companies that were allowed. Manji Marie biscuits and Family biscuits. The other biscuits mlikuwa mnauziwa shule in the canteen. So Mimi, my parents, they are very proud, by the way. Going to Precious Blood is not a small school, okay? So the fact that I reported to that school and I haven't changed, I'm not naughty, I've not done anything, I'm still making them proud. They still okay, despite the fact that my grades are not giving. They're not bad, yeah? I have some subjects like CRE that I've always performed well in. Funny thing. But they're not exactly where they're supposed to be, because when I joined that high school, when I was in primary school, mimi nilikuwa chopi. So I'm in a high school full of other chopis, and they were expecting me to be on top of the rest of them. So if there's one thing they used to tell me every day is go work hard on your grades, work hard on your grades, work hard on your grades. So this certain Sunday wasn't any different. My dad at that time alikuwa anafanya kazi ya mbali. Sometimes we'll be in Kisumu, saa zingine Kakamega, other times in Mombasa, and other times he would be even in Kenya. So at this time, my dad, together with my mom, walikuwa kwa nyumba. So both my parents were present, but only my mom was the one who was supposed to take me to school, because my dad was supposed to report to work the following day, and he was traveling. I think he was traveling back to Kakamega for work. So, as obviously they will sit me down and tell me, you know, after we've eaten supper, I've already packed my books, I've already packed my shopping, everything has been organized, nishapiga uniform pasi, and I'm ready to go to school. I'm waiting for the next day to wake up early in the morning so that I may report to school. And yeah, so my parents sit me down after supper, and they're like, you know, your grades, they're really not doing well. Yeah, you know, the encouragement, please, when you go, you're now in Form 3, you're now a senior, please work hard, you have little time left. You know, the pep talk that you're given to make sure you start your year off well. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, don't focus on anything. Don't let peer pressure get to you. I know you're studying with wealthy kids and kids from very rich backgrounds, but just to know that, remember penye umetoka. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, usikue na peer pressure about boys and relationships, and I was like, it's okay. And they're like, sawa basi. Me, I go and sleep. Nenda kufanya nini? I go and sleep. So mimi, I slept early because obviously the routine was you're supposed to sleep early so that I can wake up early the following day on Monday and report to school. So baby, as a good daughter, I do what? I go to bed. And my sister and I, we share the same room. So yana lala like it's a double decker. Yana lala chini, mina lala juu. So mi nimeenda nimelala. I slept at around 9:30, 9:35 hapo. Tumeagree nimefanya nini, nimelala, and my parents and I kafunga. But babangu amebaki na kuona news and I don't know what they were discussing about, but me, I just left them in the sitting room and I went and slept. Guys, tell me why. In my mind, I felt like it was a few hours later, but apparently in real life it was only like 45 or 50 minutes later. Nasikia mlango ya bedroom imefunguliwa. I'm like, because I wasn't that much deep into sleep. It's only like 50 minutes or 45 minutes after nimelala. Nasikia mlango ya bedroom imefunguliwa. And then my mom, she's breathing heavily. Ile unaona ile like enye mtu who breathe out of anger. I'm like, baby, I'm dreaming. And then she comes to my bed. So it's a double decker, but it's not that high. And she taps me. So obviously I turned because nilikuwa nimeface the ukuta. When I turned, hi bo, my guys, you guys, was I shocked or was I shocked? Tell me why my mom serves me a hot slap. Bana nilipigwa makofi and I was like, I'm confused because she slapped me. Mimi nimelala kama we are on good terms. Like, and nikifikiria nimosha vyombo, nimepack shopping. Like, I'm literally at this point, like, trying to think like why she's slapping me. Another time, way back in 2020, my mom had anger issues. My mom, the whole time I'm in raised na anger issues. Like that man used to pigwa kama daramaza, hallelujah. That man used to beat the hell out of me without mercy. Like her anger issues were so bad. Akiwa na jam, tulikuwa tuna disperse. Even my own dad, akiwa me jam, used to make sure hakuna kitu sharp anaweza turushia. Hakuna kitu blunt mzito anaweza turushia tugonge. So ilikuwa like when she's mad, kila mtu kwa nyumba, me, my dad and my sister just looking like, is there anything she can throw at us? Nini? Unaficha haraka. Because if you do not, one of you will get hurt. And I told him nilikuwa napigwa hadi na bleed. Like, it's not like I'm exaggerating. She used to beat me like seriously. Okay? So me amenigonga. I'm like, normally alikuwa ananigonga maybe isijosha nyumba, ama maybe aliniambia nipange vitabu kwa shelf na sikupanga, ama maybe aliniambia nisugue sufuria and I did not. Like you're in high school, those small disobediences that parents don't like, but you're like, it's not a big deal. But obviously to them, like, it's a big deal. Like, nimi unasumbua. Those type of things. So mimi amenigonga the first slap and I'm like, what is really going on here? Like, personally, I do not understand what's going on here. So obviously after minigonga the first slap, she's like, Ebo amka. And I'm like, okay, obviously I obey because she's mad. And if there's one thing I learned, being raised by an African parent, you listen and you don't ask questions. Ukiambiwa amka, unaamka. Tembea, unatembea. Maswali ni za baadaye. Like, they literally explain themselves later. And if they end up not explaining themselves, we bora ulifanya Kenya alifanya. That was my mom. Anakuambia kitu usisumbuane na yeye. And my mom, she was very strict. Right now we're like cool. But when I was being raised in primary and high school, I literally had a phobia. Mi phobia yangu ilikuwa mamangu. Wewe uko hapa nje, you're fearing heights, unaogopa snakes, you're scared of lions. Me personally, I am scared. I was scared of my own mom. Like, I used to see like that woman, she was a weapon formed against me. Because the way she used to discipline me, my guys. Like, literally niko na alama kwa mwili steni kama sitaitoka. Because it was just traumatizing, okay? So ameniambia niamke. Nimeamka. And then I look at her. Mind you, she hasn't switched on the lights. It's like kuna giza, but bedroom yetu dirisha iko side ya mulika mwizi penye, okay, street lights. But I'm assuming most of you know what a mulika mwizi is, but these street lights that are placed like to give light kwa the compound and like the environment and the surrounding. So obviously there's some light inaingia kwa bedroom, so like you can see each other, but not clearly, but you can see each other. So mi nikaamka. Then she looks at me, she's like, how dare you? I'm like, how dare me what? Kofi ingine. Pa! Pa! Nilipigwa makofi mbili moto. Nilishika tu hivi. Immediately tears started running out of my eyes. And then she shouted at me, she was like, unalia nini? So you know African parents, when I expect to discipline but you're not supposed to cry, they'll be like, unalia nini? Like she was like that. She was like, unalia nini? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so many gonga. No hujaniambia reason. Like, nini bado mama? Nini bado? Like, I'm so pissed off because she's not explaining why she's hitting me. And it's very painful because, slap za mamangu. Kwanza kikugonga hivi, alafu arudishe na mkono ingine. Unasikianga hadi kujikojolea. So, after Minigonga, she's like, how dare you? How dare you disrespect your father after everything he has sacrificed for you? How dare you disrespect us and when you sacrifice a lot of things for you? You think going in that school you can start disrespecting us? Sasa jumeanza kumea, mwili, matiti na matako, unaanza kunanika unaanza to disrespect. I'm like, I don't even have boobs, guys. I don't even have boobs at this point. Like, they're so tight. I'm like, sasa matiti. In my head, I'm like, sasa matiti gani yaki? Gani, funny gani. So she commands and she orders me nishuke kwa kitanda. So obviously nashuka and she grabs my hand and she drags me to the sitting room. Alafu there's a small car sofa, the one seater, ananirusha na nikalisha hapo. And then my dad ameshikilia simu ya mamangu. Then he looks at me and then he looks at my mom's phone. And then he looks at me again and then he looks at my mom's phone and he's like, Hey, I'm like, okay, seriously, what's going on here? Guess what my dad shows me? My dad anachukua simu namna this. So he's like this. Like he's in disbelief. I cannot like put the same. He's like, so he takes the phone and he does this to me. He shows me. Mimi kenye ninaona. Ushaishindwa kupumua. Hadi maneno hewa yote inaisha. I'm like, sema kufuck up. Brav, I had fucked up big time. Like, nilishindwa hadi kuprocess. And the first question that was running in my mind, how did they get those pictures? How the heck did they get those pictures? And then, ikani hit. Nili sleep. Ni mimi. Unaona yote enye nafanyika. Ni mimi nimejitakia. Ni mimi nimejiletea. Everything that is happening currently right now, it's because of my ignorance and me thinking that I know too much than my parents. Because all of this, it's my fault. It's my fault. Like, literally, I took on responsibility in my head. I'm like, how the heck could you be so careless? How the heck could you be so careless? This is what I mean. As I've said, my parents are very strict. That means I had a curfew. Curfew yangu ilikuwa ya 4 p.m. Like, my parents were so strict to the point, like, I never had a social life. And if I had, it was so little. And it mostly consisted of either school or, like, church. And most of the time, church ni tulikuwa tunaenda, I had not bonded with people that much. So, like, I used to live in my own cocoon. So, I was made to be an introvert by default. Like, sikuwa na option ya kusema, Mom, I'm going out with my friends. Or like, Mom, nimetoka hapa nje, I'm going over to visit a friend. That was not allowed. Considering the way my parents were so strict, I was not allowed to have a phone. The first phone that I was given was a hand-me-down that was my mom's phone. Alikuanga amebuyiwa na babangu using bonga points. Utu Safaricom, tusimu tudogo to Safaricom, to neon something. That was my first smartphone. But sadly, the church that I was going at that time, I was in Form 1 August. Ndio nilipatiwa hand me down. But hata haikumaliza 1 month ikaibiwa. So my parents were like, that is God saying that you don't need a smartphone. You don't even need a phone. So akanibaya kabambe, like these phones of buttons, these analog old phones. So that was like the phone I was using for communicating and for texting. And by that time, unajua sayo, at this time when I was in high school, Instagram was the deal. Like all the conversations were happening on Instagram or WhatsApp. Kama hauna Instagram ama WhatsApp or Snapchat for taking pics and Fuji for taking pictures, you're missing out on a lot. But mimi, I don't want to miss out on a lot. Simu yangu ya buttons, haizi ni allow nifanye hizi vitu zote. But my mom has a smartphone. And my mom, she's not that well educated when it comes to mambo ya simu. Till this date, I'm the one who shows her like how to function her phone, like yada yada yada. Adi ya juu mobile hotspot ni nini. Like, akinunua data huwa napita nayo saa zingine. So, I wanted to survive. Peer pressure in high school. Unaingia high school, unapata kila mtu anaongelelea. Like, uliona sijui the hashi, sijui who trended, sijui Nairobi Nika, Kasarani Nika, Nairobi West Nika, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I want in. So, I decided to install Instagram on my mom's phone. Remember this time, my mom, she's not a phone person. Yes, simu yake, it's a smartphone. It was a Techno actually at that time. Anatumia kupiga simu and to call and to receive. And WhatsApp, she used to use her WhatsApp app to receive notifications and like updates about school, because kulikuwa na a group ya class na group ya shule. So like she was not that much into like her phone and Facebook and like Instagram. That was not her space. So I decided to create an Instagram account using my mom's phone. So mchana nilienda kwa kazi ya mamangu during the holidays. I use her phone. I had money, so like I buy credit and then I buy data and then I get Instagram, I take pictures. So I had installed Huji, Snapchat, Instagram, and a duplicate of WhatsApp. Like there's an app that you can use to duplicate WhatsApp. Uko na WhatsApp mbili kwa simu. So that time, my mom had 2 WhatsApps on her phone, an Instagram page, a Huji page, and a Snapchat. All of them that I used to access. So all my pictures and all my videos used to be there. So I used to go time enye ako free mchana, I take the phone, I do and lie to her and nafanya assignments na hiyo simu. Like nilikuwa nabeba mpaka kitabu na textbooks ati nimeenda kuchukua simu ya mamangu nifanye assignments. That's how I used to take pictures and upload them during mchana. And then at night to post like that Instagram story for at night, or like get to reply the DMs. Usiku alikuwa nakuja, she used to come home at around 7:30. I take her phone, she's like, "Lisa, wachukua tu." Like she wasn't that strict with her phone, because anajua natumia kufanya nini? Kusoma. So that's how I used to access her phone, and that's how the pictures that I'm talking about landed on her phone. So every time I used to like post something, I used to mute and to hide the notifications of Instagram. But sometimes mchana I used to like unmute them so that I can see like nimekuwa tagged wapi, who are my new followers. At that time I had a lot of followers on Instagram. Like as I said, Instagram was the lit, it was the epic of our teenagehood. So this certain day, I told you this is on a Sunday night, and nimepigwa makofi za 1, 2, 3. On that Sunday after church, my then boyfriend, who was like a year older than me, he was the one, he was going to Form 4, I was going to Form 3. We had met in drama club. I'm going to give you a story time of like this whole relationship in our next video. But literally, basically, I'm gonna summarize it. We met in drama club. He was a dancer, I was a dancer. One thing led to another. I liked him, he liked me, and we started dating. And despite me having strict parents, he used to buy credits. SMS Safaricom, alikuwa nanunua just to talk to me. That's why I say, you see, young love is genuine love. But come to think of it right now, I don't think I was literally in love with him. I just loved the fact that I'm dating, like other people are dating. You see peer pressure in high school. Watu wengine kwa relationships. Pia mimi, I can brag, I have a boyfriend. And the school that he was attending was a big school. Like ilikuwa na its own like its own reputation. So you dating a guy from that school was like a big deal. And I loved attention. Like attention, I love attention. I've always loved attention. So it used to gain me a lot of attention and acknowledgement from people, especially when he would write letters to me in school. Well, kukiwa na time ya funkies. Alafu kila mtu alikuwa like, you need to sema umeandikiwa nini na checks nini. So basically I just loved the fact that the two of us were dating, and the relationship was going on well. And as I've said, we used to communicate through that. So this certain Sunday after church, he pulls up in Kasarani. He used to stay all the way Izo Sexanyayo estate, but because he loved me and he wanted to see me and he was genuinely interested in me, and I was so scared of my parents. Remember, as I've said, I had a curfew. My parents were very strict, and I didn't have the courage to disobey them, because as I've said, nilikuwa napigwa vita ya kimataifa na mamangu, and I was like, I'm not going to risk my own life for a boy. Me? No. And they're the one paying my school fees and giving me pocket money and buying me shopping. I was like, I'm not gonna risk come and meet you. But I risked a couple of times. The first date that we went, we met at Garden City out for a day. The second time I went to town. I literally got lost. Anyway, story for another video. But in the relationship, there's a time I used to risk, but that was like when my parents were traveling. I was like home alone. Okay. So this certain day, he's like, it's your opening school. I haven't seen you. The next time I'm going to see is during a function, which is all the way in February, because both of us are in drama club. So he's like, I want to see you before the year, before we like open school. And I'm like, it's okay, baby, pull up. So he pulls up in the afternoon, and we talk. We have a really good conversation, and since I can't bring him home juu ya mama wa ploti ni wadaku, we decide to go. There's like a railway place huku kwetu, an area called Phase 3. So we got there, we chill, we talk nini. But basically, remember, we are teenagers. It's an innocent relationship. We are not making out, we're not kissing, we're not doing anything. We're just talking and like enjoying each other's company. Like, how was your new year? How's your mommy? How's your brother? How's your sister? And it's like, how you doing? Are you excited about opening school? You know, like innocent talks. And then in the moment of it, as we in the process of us having a conversation, he's like, by the way, we don't have pictures together. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I would like to take pictures with us. And I'm like, yeah, baby, let's take pictures. And we use his Snapchat and we take pictures. And since I want to brag, we're using his phone. Remember, me natumia kabambe Barton's phone. I cannot take pictures with that, of course. So he has a smartphone. So we take pictures with his phone, and then we agree he's going to send me on Instagram when I text him and tell him nitumie a picture. And he's like, sawa. The main reason I told him I need to text him fast is because, like, inaweza kuwa mamangu ako nayo na amewasha bundles na like nini, she's like on WhatsApp or like on Facebook. So I was like, ndakutext nikwambia nitumie, and then you're gonna send it to me. I was opening school on Monday, he was opening school on Tuesday. So he was like, I to take the pictures, and we agree he's going to send them to me, and then he leaves at around 5:30 because curfew yangu ni 4, and I was so scared. I was like, because nilikuwa naambia twende, is like hapana, 30 more minutes. So when nilifika 5:30, I was like, no, mimi ndagongwa na wazazi wangu, let's tu nikuzinikisha nifikishe stage. So nikamzindikisha, tukafika stage, and then he went home. So mimi nikakuja with bila kushtuka, nothing has happened nini. Mimi nikakuja kwa nyumba. So jioni, since like my dad happened to be around the house, I could not take my mom's phone and like start like posting the pictures. I wanted to post the pictures to show people that I'm in a happy relationship and that my boyfriend has traveled all the way from Nyayo Estate, amekuja kuniona. I wanted to brag about that. But since of the whole events, me being given pep talk nini, niko like, nitapost tu tukikuja midterm. Besides, at the end of the day, nani atajua exactly which day alikuja. But sasa ni kama kijana wetu aliona ni kama nimesahau kumuitisha, like I forgot about the pictures. He decided to send the pictures, and at this time it's when my mom wanted an app on her phone to be updated. So since mamangu hajui a lot about phones, guess who was updating her phone? My dad. And for you to update the phone, you need to have nini? Data. Remember, I was very sloppy. I forgot to hide like hide the notifications, because mimi nilikuwa najua hakuna kitu natumia kwa Instagram. I have already said my goodbyes to every person. We're reporting back to school. Everyone is going back to school. The only person that can text me is my boyfriend, and shamwambia nafungua shule kesho. So like there's no messages I'm getting. So it's like there's no point of like, you know, hiding the notifications. Zinatapata maybe ni za kumwambia like kuna watu wamenifollow Instagram, and my mom was not that much into Instagram. Alikuwa na notifications anaziswipe tu anazitoa. So mimi nikalala. Ninja wetu akileke kamwambia, maybe your girlfriend has forgot about the pictures. While my dad was updating my mom's phone, he starts sending the pictures. Ta, ta, ta. And my dad, since he's the one with the phone, anashtuka. And at that time, my then boyfriend, my high school boyfriend, alikuwa like these guys wenye walikuwa wamemature haraka. So like alikuwa amejeza mandevu, like ndevu zake zilikuwa zinamea haraka. Alikuwa amejeza mandevu zinafika hadi hapa. So like with a beard, you'd think he's a man in his 20s, mid 20s hapo. But akiwa ameshave, akiwa high school, anakaa a normal teenager. But obviously during the holidays, because he wanted to buy like alcohol for his friends and everything, he never used to shave his beard. So when my dad first saw the pictures, akilaki nilikuwa nagonga nini? Huyu ni mwanaume mzima ako 20 something amesimama na my teenage daughter who is only barely 16 17 years old. Of course he got mad and he immediately showed my mom. My mom obviously got mad because my dad was like, hizi ni nini mtoto anataka kunionyesha? Hizi ni nini huyu mtoto anataka kunionyesha? And obviously my mom was like ashamed because unaambiwangwa, oh, saying inasemanga mtoto mbaya ni wa mama, mtoto mzuri ni wa baba. So at this point, since mimi ni mtoto mbaya, I was misbehaving, nikakuwa wa mama. So I was like embarrassing my mom towards my dad. So that's why my mom came to my room and the whole fiasco happened. But can I tell you that my mom literally alinipiga vita ya kimataifa. Like mbele ya babangu, alafu ko like, umeona tumekupeleka shule mzuri kwa unaanza kumisbehave nini? Unataka kutuletea mimba. And when they brought that question of me getting pregnant, in my head I was like, it's an innocent picture and the guy is in high school, guys. He's only like 1 year older than me. Why are you over exaggerating? Of course, sikuambia now what, but in my head I'm like, you're like exaggerating. Because let me tell you what the pictures were. The pictures were, let's assume this is him, okay? This is me. I'm telling how the pictures were. Most of the pictures ilikuanga this is me and this is him. Amenishika hivi. Almost 5 pictures. One picture ndio like nilikuwa nimemhug from the side. But most of the pictures alikuwa amenishika hivi, like this is my head, my hivi, niko hivi alafu amenishika hivi. And then he's smiling and I'm also smiling. He was literally taller than me. Not that tall, but he was like taller than me. And then amenishika hivi. So in my head I'm like, people my age, they're getting pregnant. They're running away from home. They're getting tattoos. They're being intimate with their boyfriends. They're kissing, making out, hooking up. And then there's me. The most I've ever done with this boyfriend that you're telling me is bad for me is hug him, sit down and have a very, very wonderful conversation with him. So what do you mean I'm going to end up getting pregnant? Like, unless pregnancy inapatwa na being given hugs, which I doubt. So like the whole time, looking at the whole scenario right now, niliona like wale exaggerate, like walikuwa na overdo. And plus in my head I was like, sioni nimefanya anything wrong. People my age are dating. They're doing much worse than me. I am literally respecting you people. I haven't gotten to that extent. I respect my body and I've respected you people as my parents. I haven't done that. I have not hooked up. I have not made out with any guy. The most I've done with this boyfriend of mine, the only boyfriend that I've ever had in my lifetime, is hug him. I know you're beating me up. You're calling me stupid. You're calling me a slut. Calling me a prostitute. Because, like, make it make sense. But at the end of it, my parents were really disappointed. And my expenses were cut down. When I opened school, like, I felt like I felt like quality disowned. When I tell you guys that my parents literally disowned me, I mean they started treating me like a stranger. Literally, mimi nilikuwa najipeleka shule with all that shopping, and najileta home after the school has closed and even on midterms. My mom did not attend the general meeting. My pocket money was reduced because nilikuwa napata pocket money ya 5,000 in a term. 2,500 nikireport shule, alafu after midterm napata 2,500. They reduced my pocket money from 5,000 to 1,000. They gave me 1,000 bob in an open school and they're like, survive nayo. Mimi, mwenye nimezoea kula crepes, nimezoea kunywa maziwa, I used to buy fruits every day. I used to spend almost 3,000 in less than 2 months. in high school where I'm being fed with every amount of food, but I used to spend it on junk food like everyone else. Buy hot dogs, queen cakes, sweet mandazis, biscuits, crepes, sodas, smokies, and then you're telling me that I need to cut down on my expenses to 1,000 bob. Like, I felt like a stranger. I was being treated like a stranger. And my mom would always, from then onwards, akiambia nimefanya kitu na a neighbor, she believed them directly. She never ever came to ask me my side of the story anytime anything would happen. She'll just assume, my boyfriend. Even my own grades, when they started dropping in Form 3, because that's when they dropped like seriously, she assumed it was because of the boyfriend. And at that time, we had broken up. Literally, the trust between my mom and I broke to the point when I started getting mental disorders like panic attacks, depression, suicidal thoughts, cutting myself. I didn't tell my mom. She doesn't trust me. There was no relationship between my mom and I. We stopped talking, we stopped being friends. And it was a communication of like ordering and me doing something. Like nilikuwa na command hiyo fanya kitu nafanya. There was no relationship there. The relationship literally died because my mom felt like I had embarrassed her in front of my dad. And unlucky enough, during that time the corona hit in 2020. So 2020 was like one of the hardest years of my life. Like, and when I reported back in 2021, things got worse. I started getting panic attacks. I started getting depression. I wanted to commit suicide. It was just a lot because my parents are treating me like a stranger. My own classmates are treating me like a stranger. My own friends, I don't have friends. I don't have a family. I don't have a mom. I have no one. Like literally, I would pray to God every time tulikuwa on holiday, tufungue shule, so that I can literally be away from them because it was so toxic. Just because I tried dating and they found out. Story of my life. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you loved it. I hope it was entertaining. If you had a similar experience, please don't feel shy. DM me on Instagram at mwadhi.njadhi. Let me hear your own experience. Is it worse than mine? Is it better than mine? Or like you've never had that experience? Or like, do you know someone who's had that experience? Come on, don't be shy. Please share your stories on me, and I might just tell it on my YouTube page. If it's interesting enough and if it's funny enough, I might tell it on my YouTube page. So don't feel shy. DM me on Instagram and don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. The name is Mwadhi Njadhi on all social media platforms. And if you liked this story, there are more stories on my TikTok page. So don't feel shy. Go follow me on all my social media platforms so that you may be able to be notified of my other stories. Bye! See you next week with another story time.